Hey everybody, Noel Fielding, My Golden State Real Estate. Wanted to reach out to you today and talk about getting ready to sell this year. We just had a video series. If you watched over the last few weeks, we had a three-part series on buyers getting ready to buy in 2024. And the real trigger for that was that the Fed had announced that they had dropped rates. Now, a couple weeks later, they announced that they didn't drop again, but the writing is on the wall. The inflation rate has started to get under control where the Fed wants it to be. And that is going to drive rates down. And the buyers who have been kind of waiting for things to get a little bit more affordable are looking to buy. And that's going to create supply and demand. And that's going to create that situation, which is great for sellers because there's going to be, and there has been for a long time now, more buyers out there than inventory. And this is going to be a great opportunity for you to maximize your proceeds, your net proceeds, and get yourself ready to make that dream move, whether you're talking about upsizing or downsizing and potentially having um, a smaller home that's less demanding that you don't need. That's a situation I personally went through in 2018. My kids had pretty much all gone except for my youngest, and it was just way too much house for me, and it didn't make sense. I was able to net some great proceeds and put quite a bit into my new home and have a very nice and comfortable mortgage. And that's what downsizers get to do. So as you get ready to sell, what we want to do is plan your move and look at this from a logistical point of view and make a great plan. And where we're going to look at, we want to look at your your financial plan, your budget, your estimates on repairs that you might need to do, upgrades that you might need to do to make your house catch the market, and fetch the most sales value that you possibly can get. The other parts of that will be after we've got the financing planned out and you have a good handle on that, is getting your home showroom ready, and we'll talk in depth about that. So what's that plan look like? So what I'm saying is we want to know the numbers. Have an idea. Do I want a new payment? I remember selling for a couple of friends of mine, and they were going from a situation where they didn't really have a payment anymore, but they wanted their new home to have a payment that was affordable and didn't affect them too much in the long haul. So everybody's situation is a little bit different. So if you think you're going to end up having a payment, shoot, you may not. We may make enough, especially if you're in the downsizing mode. We may make enough off your sale where you pay the thing off in its entirety, and you don't have any payment at all. So there's a lot of things to potentially consider. Tell me where you want to live and what you're looking for. That's going to, I'll start doing some preliminary shopping for you, and we can get an idea. We won't necessarily know exactly what you're going to spend because we're not looking at your exact house, but we can look at that neighborhood and what a home like what you're looking for is going to go for. So that'll help us say, okay, it's going to be $650,000 for that new home. Now I can do an estimate on your home and get a preliminary estimate of your sales value. We're going to sell for 500, and you have a balance of 120, and you're going to have these kind of closing costs and maybe a little bit for repairs. So we can estimate what you've got versus what you're going to have to spend, and get that in mind, and we can kind of figure out, even at that point, without knowing your exact qualifications, I can estimate a payment for you, and we go, okay, that works, or it doesn't work, and then maybe it's not the time to sell for you. Maybe it changes your strategy and where you want to buy your next home, and what that's going to look like. We can get a good estimate of your available proceeds at that point. And when we've done that, we're in really great shape to start getting pre-qualified with your lender. Um, we will tell them what you're looking for, go through the numbers. I'll help you on the phone. I can do a three-way call, or we can do a video or whatever, and we can figure out with them, okay, we've got this much money. If you put this much down and this much in closing costs, your payment would be this, or no payment at all, theoretically. And look at how that balance sheet's going to work out for you. And maybe you'll want to pay off some debt, if that applies to you. But knowing what you're going to net, or having a very strong idea of that, what you're going to net, and knowing what you need to put down, or buying down the balance to achieve the payment that you want, in what neighborhood you want. Those are the things that are going to help us get you pre-qualified and get a pre-qualification letter in advance if we need one. If again, you're making so much off yours, we may make an offer on a house and just say, yeah, it's contingent on us selling. Or maybe you don't need to sell at all, and we can buy the property outright or get financing on it and then sell your house. Because one of the nice things about that would be that we could get your house vacant or largely vacant, and those houses, vacant homes, sell a little bit better. And if it's a rental property, that philosophy is going to be the same. You may not have a renter in there at this time, or maybe we need to encourage them, and put them in a situation where maybe they're the buyer, or it's time for them to move out, so long as we do all that properly. And I know during COVID that was a little tricky. But again, the point here is that a vacant house is going to sell a little bit better. And it creates this opportunity where buyers can get in without having to dance around you and your schedule, or a renter's schedule and things like that. Sometimes a renter doesn't want to be cooperative because they don't want to move, and they need a lot of time to prepare to move. So that can be bad news for them. So looking at those moving parts and making a plan is going to be important. But getting pre-qualified and knowing what we're got on our plate is going to be important. Now, and this is where we start talking about preparing your home for sale. So a few things that we want to do is, at that point, I'm going to come out. I'm going to visit you. We're going to walk the property. We're going to look for obvious repairs, and make sure your house is showroom ready, right? Some of those important things are going to be curb appeal. I mean, you might even be doing the same thing as you get ready to visit your new neighborhood, and you see a house for sale, and we've got a drip set up for you. You're seeing homes that are for sale in there, and you're interested. You might be doing drive-bys, and a lot of people do. And having great curb appeal, a clean yard, trimmed trees, mowed yard, edged, blowed, all that stuff makes a strong first impression. And you know what they say, there's nothing more important than a first impression. And I, like my business partner, my former business partner, Adam, and I, we would always say, yeah, if every home on the block had a red front door, that would be great, because that meant we sold those homes, because we always liked a red front door. It really spoke to you. That with nice brushed nickel hardware, even one with the locking code on there. That's cool, and that's a great first impression. And the other one is obviously decluttering the house, especially the kitchen, kind of taking off all the stuff, especially when we're getting ready to photograph the house, all those tchotchkes and pictures and stuff like that. I know you like your home and you're proud of your home, but it is easier for buyers to see themselves in that home when they are when it's got a clean slate, and they can visualize themselves, their family photos in there, and uh, and picture themselves in the home, and that's going to help sell it. It really, really does. So again, if it's vacant, great. It's not absolutely necessary. We can certainly work around that. I've sold tons of homes with uh, people still living in their residence, or even a rental with a renter in there. It works, but these are preferences. They do make it better. It sells quicker and generally for more money when it's easy to show. So prepare your home for sale. Make that curb appeal great. Make sure if there's pets in, or there has been pets in, the pet stains are cleaned up. We want to clean the carpet, touch up paint where necessary. If you decide that you took down a big family photo, a portrait, and there's kind of that stain that comes around on the wall over time, it's really, really great to touch that wall up and paint it. And that strong first impression of a front door, and certainly a clean kitchen. So these are the kinds of things we want to do when we're preparing that, and looking at first the things that are first impression items and things that might need repair. And your home may look perfect on the inside, but if the outside isn't great, especially on days where we're having like open house or something like that, make sure there's not 10 cars in the driveway and stuff like that. If there's things we can do to mitigate that and keep that strong first impression on open houses, that's fantastic. So I hope this helps a little bit, and trying to keep that under 15 minutes. So that's great. Getting yourself ready to sell in 2024, and making a plan and having a strategy in place is what I do best. So there's my number across the screen, 559-358-7205. Reach out to me. Let's get a appointment made. I'll come out. No cost, no hard selling, no obligation. Want to give you a great consultation and make sure we have a plan for you. And if now is not the time, we'll be ready for when it is. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and like and subscribe as you can on YouTube. And hope to talk to you very soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.